Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Pin the Place on the Donkey. Welcome to our first instalment of Pinning the Place on Doris, our donkey from Bethel Baptist, Tredegar. Now, can you guess, first of all, where we are? There's a big clue there. Yes, we're still in Tredegar, but the stones... Oh, that's much too much of a clue, isn't it? Right, let's pin the tail or pin the place on the donkey, and then we can see if you were right. This is your chance to be brain of Tredegar. Were you right? Here we are, the Aneirin stones. That's where we are here. We are in the Aneirin stones. Points, 1,000 billion points if you got it right. Excellent. And you might ask me, well, why on earth have I brought you to the Aneirin stones? Why have I done that? Well, I want to ask you a question. Do you believe that Aneirin Bevan existed? Do you believe he was from Tredegar? Why am I asking you that question? Well, let me answer it by reading you from the Bible in Luke's Gospel, chapter 1, verses 1 to 4. Many have undertaken to draw up an account of the things that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who were from the first, were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. Therefore, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, it seemed good also to me to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may know the certainty of the things that have been taught. Traditionally, we recognise that Luke tells us a lot about the Christmas story, about Mary, about the angel Gabriel coming to Mary, telling her about this miraculous birth of a baby Jesus. And you might tell me, I don't believe any of that, Tristan. It's a lovely story, but I don't believe that the Christmas story is true. But do you believe that Aneirin Bevan was a real human being? Do you believe he was a historical character? Do you believe that he lived in Tredegar? And you say, well, of course I do. You're in Aneirin stones. They are a memorial to him. I know people who knew Aneirin Bevan. I've read books about Aneirin Bevan. It's history. And of course, that's what Luke is doing here in the verses I just read at the beginning of his gospel. Luke wasn't a crackpot. He was a doctor, a trained professional in his day. And he is telling me and telling you that the story of Christmas and the gospel and the Lord Jesus Christ was seen by eyewitnesses and passed on. Very probably, Luke would have spoken to those eyewitnesses. He would have spoken to Mary. He would have spoken to the shepherds. He would have spoken to them to see that the facts were right. And he also says that he has been careful investigating everything from the beginning. He investigated it. He wasn't gullible. He didn't want to be conned. He investigated it. And he saw that it was true. And he wrote the account, the historical account, of God, the Son, coming to this earth and being born in the Virgin Mary. Can I say something cheeky before I finish? You know, if you say, I don't believe the story, I don't believe in those angels and that Mary gave birth to a child without being with anyone, I don't believe that at all. Can I just be a little bit cheeky? Do you know what you're doing there? You're being a little bit arrogant, are you? Because what you're saying is this, that you know better than those who were there 2,000 years ago, who saw the events happen, who were right in the thick of it, and you say 2,000 years after it happened that you know better than the eyewitnesses that were there. That's a little bit arrogant, isn't it? This Christmas time, this COVID Christmas time, we need good news. And Luke is telling us historical good news, that God loved us so much that he sent his own Son to this earth to bring us back to himself. Now then, this Christmas, will you stop, as it were, denying what is true, and will you look at what is history, that Jesus Christ was born at Christmas? Before we go, we're going to do one thing. We're going to look at our beautiful Doris the donkey, and we're going to say goodbye to her, and we're going to ask, where are you going to be next time, Doris, as we play Pin the Tail or Pin the Place on the Donkey. Ta-da for now.